Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm 26. I was born in Hong Kong and I'm a pharmacist.
My name is Ambrose Chan. I am 29 turning 30, but I will not be 30 for the wedding, just to make it clear.
So I first met Ambrose at Bibi Mun Yu Zhao.
Well, it was a very wonderful night. It was at Rainflower Restaurant in Richmond. It was for a baby moon for my coworker at the time and also for Kelly's mother's coworker.
And he was sitting at the same table as me and my mom and my sister.
I don't think we talked that night.
But I basically was playing with his nephew Adam, and at the end of the night, Ambrose came by while I was playing with Adam and said, "Adam, say goodbye to Zeze," and then that's all we said to each other all night.
I didn't get her number that night, so I had to go through my coworker, who then asked
His wife to ask my mom for my phone number, and that's how he started asking me out. Ambrose initiated the dating relationship because, actually wait, maybe I did. Well, initially he asked his coworker to ask his wife to ask my mom for my phone number, and then
I decided to call her up, and we had a nice long chat, and our relationship grew from there.
I thought, oh, this is great. Like, we don't have any boring, awkward silences, and the conversation was really good, and I felt like I just known him forever. And then after that, we added each other on Facebook, and we Facebook messaged each other, except I would Facebook message him and he wouldn't reply me for 3 days. And I was like, okay, no, he's not interested. I was like, oh, I'm done with this. And then basically I don't know, a couple of weeks later, he finally started messaging me more, and then he asked me to go for coffee, and I said, well, how about we go to dinner and we'll go watch the fireworks? Because then I really wanted to go watch the fireworks, and so I think technically I initiated because I was the one who asked him on a full date. He only asked me on a coffee date. On my first date with Ambrose, before the first date, we were talking on the phone a lot.
I felt very nervous on our first date. I don't think I've ever, well, one, I've never driven to North Van before, so the trek there was quite interesting.
And I was really scared about going on our first date because before our first date, I already felt like he was the one. So if he turned out to be everything that he was on the phone, then I felt like he would be the one. So on our first date, I was really nervous.
Decided to go early. Didn't turn out to be a good idea because I had to wait, but it's all good. But no, I was very nervous. I mean,
I almost didn't want to go because I was scared he would turn out not to be the same person. But when we went on our first date, he was really gentlemanlike. You know, he held doors open for me, and he was really sweet. And I asked, you can ask him, but yeah, I asked a lot of really hard-hitting questions that were really particular, I guess. And even though we didn't know each other, he was super open to answering them, and he didn't get freaked out by me because I'm super straightforward, and I felt like we completely clicked on our first date, and I guess that's when I knew he was the one. On the first date, when we went to the fireworks, it was really crowded, so that's when we kind of half held hands because we were pulling each other through the crowd, and we were really cramped, so I kind of wanted to kiss him then, but I didn't.
On our first date, the entire time I wanted to kiss her. But didn't really happen until the very end, and I don't know if you can call it a kiss. It was just we both missed, so she kind of kissed me right here.
I wanted to say goodbye, but I didn't know what first dates are like, so I kind of wanted to kiss him and kind of didn't want to, and then when I went in to hug him, I half kissed him on half of his lips. So not the full lip. So I guess that's our first half kiss.
I was very surprised to get the cupcakes that evening because I didn't think that I would get anything.
I had a present for him. I had baked cupcakes for him, and if the date turned out well, I would give it to them. If it didn't, I wouldn't give it to them. So when we got back to my place, I came out with the cupcakes for him.
Needless to say, I got a little bit more round over the years, but no, those cupcakes were the best cakes I've ever had in my entire life. At the time, I did not know what the cupcakes meant, so it was not until after she told me that if I had gotten cupcakes, that I would that meant that the date went well, and if I didn't, well, we probably wouldn't be sitting here today. I like Kelly's smile. She, just the way she looks at me and just can smile can just go right through my heart.
Compliment on Ambrose's eyes when he smiles, because that's what I'm completely in love with, other than himself. But I love the way his eyes smile when he looks at me. He just looks at me like when he looks at me, I feel completely in love with him, and that he's completely in love with me. I think when I first started dating Ambrose, the romantic score was low. It was lower. What is this out of? 1 to 5? I don't know. I would probably, out of 1 to 5, I'd probably rate him like a 2 when we started dating. But then I was very vocal about it, and I said, like, I like romantic gestures, and like I like to surprise him with things because it feels nice for me and him. So then basically even like within our first month, I think he got like bumped up to a 5. And I think one of those most romantic things he's done for me, other than the proposal, is he wrote a storybook about us, about, I believe it's the first 6 months of our dating. And that was probably the sweetest thing, because it was written as a fairy tale, and it was the perfect gift I could have ever asked for.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate Kelly as an 11 for romance. She's a very romantic girl. She likes to do many different things and always keeps me surprised. I mean, to be honest, I'm not that romantic of a person, so anything that I would never think to do something out of the ordinary. So more often than not, I'm surprised with even something as simple as, you know, a small gift, even like a card. I never would have imagined I would cherish those things as I do now. But yeah, she's an 11 out of 10.
I look forward to starting my life with Ambrose and living in our new townhouse and not having to worry about the wedding and just living the next chapter of our lives together.
After being married, I look forward most to spending the rest of my life with Kelly. I mean, it's so simple to be dating and to have that little bit of separation, but I think the next step of seeing each other every day and going through life, you know, whether it be watching TV, cooking, or going on trips, or whatever next stage of life will bring us.